Hey y'all, I'm in the kitchen today and it's almost New Year's. We're going to be entering into 2023 finally. Hopefully it'll be better than the last couple of years for most of you. But we have a tradition here in the South where on New Year's we eat black-eyed peas, some sort of greens, whether they're turnip or mustard or whatever, and cornbread. Now, I also add rice because I make the black-eyed peas and the greens together and serve them over rice, or my husband likes to just break up some cornbread in a bowl and pour his over the cornbread and eat it that way. I like my cornbread separate. So however you want to eat it, you're welcome to do it however you want. But supposedly it's about health and wealth and prosperity. The black-eyed peas are supposed to represent coins. And the greens are supposed to represent paper money, of course. And the cornbread is supposed to represent gold. So I'm not a superstitious person or anything like that. It's just a fun tradition to carry on. And this year will be no different. So I'm going to show you how to make it. Whether you're from the Southeast and you call it Hoppin John, or whether you're from my area and you just call it black-eyed peas and greens, the recipe is still pretty much the same. And the basics are some greens, some black-eyed peas, and some onion, and then throw else whatever else you want to in there. Some tomatoes, for example. Now, a lot of people will put garlic in here, but I have a very low sensitivity to garlic, so I will not be putting any garlic separately in mine, although the Tony's does have some garlic in it, if I remember correctly. Oh, my pepper just went behind the stove. Yeah, Tony's does have some garlic in it. So anyway, let's get started making this black-eyed peas. I caught a virus from probably my grandchildren or a coworker, so you'll have to forgive my voice. But anyway, let's get started. Alright, so basically all you're going to do is soak your beans, dump them into a bowl. Look for any stones, rocks. And if you think they're never in there, trust me, they are. Don't always find them, but sometimes I do. Now, this isn't going to be enough for the amount of people we're going to have here. So I'm going to go ahead and do a second thing of black-eyed peas, which is just another pound. I'm watching for rocks as I pour these, so. Alright, now we're just going to cover these with water and then let them sit overnight. Alright, there we go. It's covered with water. Now I'll be back tomorrow morning to start cooking these. Alright, so now that it has soaked overnight, we're going to get these beans cooking. So first thing I'm going to do is get my crock pot out. I'm going to push that out of the way a little bit, and I'm going to cut up an onion. I would be doing this the same way if I were just making the black-eyed peas by themselves. But as I stated, I'm mixing it all together to make Hoppin John. So, but if you just want to make the black-eyed peas by themselves without the greens, you would still do it this way. Just kind of dice them up. Don't want any, I mean, you can have big chunks in there, that doesn't matter. But I don't want big chunks, so I want smaller pieces of onions. These are some strong onions. All right, we're gonna put that in the crock pot. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn my crock pot on and get it warming up. And I bought some mustard greens last night. They are kind of wilted today. They're already wilting. I'm not sure why, but anyway. So I'm going to wash these real quick. And then I'm just going to cut off the stems. Don't need the stems in this recipe. And then I'm going to start chopping the greens. These are mustard greens, in case I didn't say that, and throwing those in my crock pot. This one thing of greens was under $1. This is a very cheap recipe. You can cut it up smaller than that if you want to. It's up to you. Keep chopping it all up. The green is supposed to represent money, as I understand it. While it looks like a lot right now, it won't be, because the greens will cook down really quick. Alright, I'm going to throw all of this in the crock pot. Now I'm going to drain the water off of my beans. And I'm just going to pour the beans into my crock pot. Now I'm going to cover this with water. Covered with water. I'm going to add some of the beef broth that I canned earlier. When did I can this? In November. And then a good stir. Ooh, that's hot. I'm going to add a tablespoon of salt, and I'll be adding salt later after I've tasted it. We're going to start with a tablespoon of salt. And hopefully I have a tablespoon of Tony's to add. There we go. Get that cooking. And we'll push this back to the side. And I forgot to thaw my salt pork, so I'm cutting up frozen salt pork. But that's fine. It'll cook either way. So just cut your salt pork. You can use the whole thing, or you can cut it up like I'm cutting it up. It's up to you. Tommy actually likes to eat it, so I cut it up. I don't like to eat it. I just like to add it as flavoring. If you don't know where to find salt pork, I find it over in the section, not with the bacon, but with things like lunch meats. That's where I find it in Kroger. Your store may put it in a different location. Salt pork. Alright, so I got my salt pork in there. Gonna add some pepper. Going to put the lid on and cook this for the rest of the day. It's going to take several hours for this to cook. So just leave your crock pot on high, go do something else, get your house clean, whatever you want to do, and come back and stir it every now and then. So I'll be back in about 4 hours. And there you go. After cooking in the crock pot all day, it is ready. Cornbread is ready, and we're just waiting on the rice. I have some rice in a bowl. I'm just going to put me some on top of that. A little bit of juice. And there's our New Year's Eve dinner. So that's how you make Hoppin John, or black-eyed peas with greens. Thank you guys for watching, and Happy New Year's.